Hey, what's up everybody? It is another live stream from me, Peter Whitman, on compileswift.com. You can find me on Twitch at compileswift, on Twitter at compileswift, and I think you get the idea, right? It's the same everywhere. Let's get on with this. So what am I doing today? So, did a little bit of work during the week on some screens I went to get the onboarding for my app. I'm not seeing the app here on the screen. If you've seen the previous streams and you've been keeping up, paying attention, you'll be very familiar with this by now. I'm just going to click something here. Hold on. Come on. Yeah. Live TV, everybody. Okay, there we go. Alright, so yeah, what I got here is my app. I'll show you again in case you've not seen it before. But I'll also show you the work that I said I wouldn't do, but I did do during the week because, hey, it's .BC next week, and it's been crazy. So I'm going to run the app here for you. You may recall this is for, started off with a personal project for me, for my Fujifilm X-T4 camera presets. So I can put in here preset settings. You can see that I have made the screens look a little more fancy than they did, well, a lot more fancy than they did last time around. So, what have we got here? Well, the first thing to note is, you know, I've got the layout here, right? But you can also now go in and, you know, when you go in and edit, it's got the new look with all the controls for the various options that are limited, and you get the idea. But that's kind of all you've missed there is some SwiftUI layout stuff, so apologies if you didn't see that. But what I want to do now is, one of the final features for the, you know, the minimum shippable, the MVP product here is the onboarding screen. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this. Now let's just talk quickly, for those of you who don't know, what is an onboarding screen. So you've probably seen it and not realized it. When you first install and use an app, you will have noticed that sometimes you see screens that explain how to use the app, and you know, you swipe to them or something like that. And then you're in the app and away you go. That's what we're talking about here. So give me 2 seconds here, get this set up, and I will run through what I've done. You haven't really missed too much on the screen, it's just a very simple basic design. They're not even complete yet at this stage, but I want to get the functionality, and I want to show you how to do that. Alright, so what we've got here is, I'm just going to change something here on OBS. Just check all this. Yeah, okay, looks good. Alright. Now, if you've got any questions on stream here, please feel free to ask, and I will do my best to try and answer them for you. Now, what we've got here then is a series of screens. I've made this folder here, onboarding. In here is, we'll start up here. I've just got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Very basic screens. I'll hit the zoom here so you can see them. You can see that all they are is just a standard SwiftUI screen with a Z-stack, with a rectangle behind it to make a nice pretty blue background for the panel. In there right now is just a bit of text, some space and some more text, right? So I've got the title and the text down here. Let's just shrink this out a little bit. And I'm going to put a fancy graphic in here to explain it and everything else. I just haven't done those screen captures yet, you know what I mean? But basically there'll be an image, right? So in the first one, it just says, hey, it's the app for recording the X-T4 custom film preset settings. The second one goes in and says how to create it, right? So first of all, you tap the plus icon in the top right corner. Then you enter the settings and you say, right? Then the third screen just says, hey, if you want to edit the preset, then you tap it to view the details of the preset, you click the pencil, and you tap update to save the changes. And then on the fourth screen is, just load it up and render it here. Come on, Xcode. Alright, I'll have some coffee. Uh-oh, what did I do? Oh, yeah, I was messing around with some stuff. Let's take that out. There we go. Okay. The fourth one tells you basically the last of the functionality, the basic functionality of the app, deleting a preset. So again, I'll put a graphic in here, but to delete a preset, you swipe right to left on the preset you want to remove. So I'll just, you know, show you that in the app here real quickly, but, you know, it should be self-explanatory. while that's running here, I am just going to drop over here, pop into there. Put that in there. All right. So, here's your preset. Like it says for the delete, you swipe to either do that there, hit delete, or you swipe all the way across. On the third screen where it says about, come on, editing, right? You click on one, you hit the pencil, and you edit. You get the idea, right? Again, these will be some screenshots in the middle here. And then the last screen of significance here is this one, onboarding start. Now, what this whole thing is made very easy thanks to SwiftUI. Finally, something that's easy with SwiftUI, right? I know. And all it is a view. And in that view, I've got a tab view. And the important part here is the tab view style is set to page tab view style. Now, what that does for us, well, actually, you won't see it here. What it does for us is it puts the little dots to show you, hey, there's 3 pages, you're going to swipe through them, right? And then I just got a little bit of padding to make it look nice so it's not up against the edge of the screen. Oh, okay, I see. Sorry, let me fix the audio here. Hold on. Let's see. Sorry, I just noticed it here. Let's see if I can get this better. Is that any better on the audio? Let me know if it's too quiet, too hot. Let me know if that's better. I'll bring it down just a little bit more. I was recording some videos the other day that have a different setting. So let's see if that's any better. Thank you, Kithril42 and Darkbringer1903. Thanks for letting me know. Hopefully it's better now. If you can just let me know and we'll see how that goes. I can tweak it here if it's not too much. All right, so just gonna gotta check something on my iPad here. Give me 1 second. It's better, but it's lagging behind the video. All right, I think what the problem there is because of the way that I do the video and it goes through some audio plugins. I will try and tweak that in real time here if I can. Give me 1 second. See, this is what happens when you have 2 different setups. Got to change the filters here. Hold on 1 second. Is the I'm trying to figure out if the video is slow. So the audio is lagging behind the video. Okay. All right, we'll see if this gets any better here. I put a delay on the video. All right. Trying to watch it here in real time and keep up with the audio as well. I'm going to make it some more here. Hang on. Problem is, see, I don't get this delay on my local feed here, so everything looks just fine. All right, let's see how that does. Let me know. I'll move my, just going to reposition some hardware here. All right, so just for those of you who may be curious, I put a 1200 millisecond delay between the video and the audio, see if they sync up better. I'll make it 1600. We'll see how that goes. Is that playing out any better for you guys out there, you guys and girls? Looks to me like it's getting closer, so let me know. Hopefully it won't be too distracting, but at least you should be able to hear me okay. All right, so I'll carry on here. So what we've got, I'll just recap quickly because of the audio. Sorry about that. So I've got 3 basic SwiftUI screens, right? There's a background shape in a Z stack with some text, and then I'm going to put a picture in the middle. It's way better. Fantastic, Darkbringer. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of a bit obsessive about these things. I have some audio filters that remove like I'm here in Texas, so the air conditioning's on. So it kills off some of the noise and some of the reverb and things like that. But of course, even on my M1 Mac, that slight delay in the processing, plus the feed, the video feed is coming from my Canon M50, and then when they come into the system, get put together and sent out on the stream, trying to fix that delay, it drives me nuts when things are not synced up. So I truly apologize, and I have full sympathy. It drives me crazy. So if you feel like it's still a bit off, let me know, and I'll just keep tweaking it till I get closer. Appreciate the feedback. Thank you. Okay, so we've got these screens here, right? And there's just a series of 4 screens that tell you how to do basic things with the app, the core functionality of the app at the moment. But what we want it to do, obviously, is when you first run the app, you first download it, install it, and run it, I want to show you these onboarding screens. But then when you've gone through these screens and you hit like a start button or go or whatever it may be, next time around when you open up the app and any future times you use the app, I don't want you to see those the onboarding screens because you've seen them. I may put something in the settings to bring them back if you want to, but you really don't want to see these every time. So right now, the way that we do this, and like I say, just to recap here, this is really the key one here, this onboarding start. And it's just a tab It's not a game stream. It wasn't that distracting, but annoying nonetheless. Yeah, no kidding. Almost on the point now that I can't even tell if there is a sync issue. Fantastic. Or maybe I'm just throwing my voice by a few seconds and you think I've changed the filters. That would be a good trick, right? So in the tab view, what you do is you're going to list the screens you want to go through. So I've got the 3 onboarding screens here, and I'm just going to add in the 4th, right? So you just add those like you would any normal view. Hope that makes sense, right? And when you run these, it's just going to go through the first one. You swipe until you get to the end of the list, right? Now, what I'm going to do to show you this right now is the first thing we need to do is have the app load up the tab view with the first view for the loading screens, right? So I'm going to go over to my app manager here, and you can see that what happens here is it first of all loads the content view. If you've ever created a SwiftUI application, you'll have seen this. It's the first one it gives you by default. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to break the app by turning that off there right now. And I'm going to say, all right, I want you to load the onboarding start screen instead, okay? Because this window group is the top level of your application. So now when I run it, we're going to see, hopefully, these onboarding screens. And we do, right? So here's that style here. Let me just go back and cover that again in case my audio issues didn't make it clear. These little dots here, there's one dot for each of these screens. Now we see these because we set the tab view style to page tab view style. All right. Just a quick tip. Let me take this out here. If you are not familiar with, you know, the options that you have in something here like this, the pre-built styles, if you hold down the control key and hit space, it's going to give you a list. And if you just do dot, a lot of the time, oh, sorry, I won't do it on this one. A lot of the time with dot, it'll give you the list of options. But what you can do, if I start typing here, oh, hang on, sorry. I'm messing myself up. Let me go backwards here. Right, you got this tab view style. Now, I can see it here because if I start typing, there it is, a table, tab view style that implements a page scrolling. That's exactly what we want, right? If you ever want to see the other ones, let me see if I can remember the key here. I think if you do, yep, okay, so let's do, if you option, click on it, right? Opening the developer documentation, which of course there is. It's got it here, and you know, you can go through and find the tab view. It's going to list all the different ones for you. In fact, you could actually just do it conforms to tab view style, and there should be a list of them around here somewhere. Or actually, it's on the Swift. Where is the search button? It's in here in the documentation, views, styles, tab view. Not got the tab view on there? No, of course it doesn't. Okay, you'll find them in there. All right, if you just search the documentation for tab view style, you will find the list of the ones you want. But anyway, this is the one we want. We've got our 4 screens. I'm using a trackpad here, so I'm just gonna click and swipe as if I was swiping on a device with my finger. And you can see I can go back and forth. There's the first one, second one, third one, fourth one. Fantastic. But right now, of course, we don't have a way to get out of this. I'm just stuck with these 4 screens. And even if I could get out of them, my app's not going to run because it doesn't have everything it needs from the content view, like that environment object. So let's go ahead and stop this. And the way I'm going to do that is, first of all, I'm just going to add a button to this 4th view here, right? So I'll just put down the bottom here, the bottom of the stack, in this vertical stack underneath the last of the text. I'm just going to put a button. So start typing button. Oops. Can't type. Button. And we're going to have a title and an action. But actually, I'm going to do action and label. And I'll show you why. So this is where we'll put our code in here. Come on. Just cooperate, please. There you go. Okay. And in there we've got some text. I'm just going to put a text label for now that'll be just start. All right. You're not going to see it here right now because funny enough the text is blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of the text to white. I'm just going to change it over here. Hit resume. There it is down there. We'll get to making it look pretty, don't worry. What I'm going to do on the button here is just add some padding. All right, there we go. Now we'll add a background color and everything else, but I just wanted you to see that there's the start button, and of course the rest of the content moves up. Let's add a let's do the button while we're here. So I'm going to put a frame in because I want it to be bigger in size, right? This is all well and good just having the start. I'm one of those people that I liked it the old way when buttons had a shape to them. I don't know about all of you. Please feel free to put in the chat what you think, but I like that people know that, hey, this is the area that you can tap, not just, I know it's under this text somewhere, right? Especially with people who may not have the greatest vision, where you want them to be able to see like, hey, you can get this whole area, or maybe, you know, from an accessibility standpoint, just making that button bigger by putting a frame in here gives them a better chance to hit it in case maybe they have some problems touching the screen, something like that. That's kind of my thinking on this. So I'm going to set a height of 50 and a width. I'm going to guess a number here for right now, and I'll say 200. I can okay. We'll do the width, then we'll do the height of 50. There you go. So it's a bit bigger here, right? Now, I'm also going to give it, just so you can see it here, I want to give it a background color just for now. And something that you haven't seen in here yet, this app does support dark mode by default because of the way I've built out the colors. But for right now, I'm just going to set this color to be something really horrible so we can see it. I'll do red, okay? So it's going to look real nasty. Going to give it the standard radius because everybody does, right? So I'll give it a radius of 15. Let me click off of this thing here. So there you go. Really horrible color, but you get the idea. Let's just run it. We'll see the fourth one. The idea being here is that you can't fail to see the start button, but we're not going to leave it as red. Well, actually, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it might, but you get it, right? But it's underneath these dots. Don't want that to happen. So I'm going to add a little bit of padding, but I'm going to do it just to the bottom. So I'm going to say bottom, I can't spell, bottom padding, or is, hang on. I think it's bottom if I remember rightly. We're just going to say, let's just say 20. Is it dot bottom? And I forgot. It's dot bottom. See? Sorry. All right. And then all that's going to do is just going to move it up a bit. Should have been a comma. I'm thinking CSS. 20. Actually, 20 might not be enough. It's bottom 20. Thank you. All right. I've been doing React all week, and I keep thinking CSS and nightmare. All right, there we go. So it's way clearer, this indicator at the bottom, right? So next step, other than the really horribly designed button, is to make this functional. So what do we want to have happen here? Two things. First of all, I hit the start button. I want it to load up my app. Secondly, I want a way to record that you've seen these onboarding screens and you don't need to see them again. For my way of thinking, the easiest way to do that is to use the user defaults, because it's just going to be a Boolean, true and false, right? So that's what I'm going to do. Other people may do it otherwise, but the user defaults to me is just the fastest, easiest way to do that I can think of. And we're going to think about where we do this. Now, I've already thought it through, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. So first of all, this button for the action, right? We are going to load up the content view and we are also going to set that value, but we're going to do it in 2 stages. I want to do the value first, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my manager app, my app Swift here, and I now need to have something fancy here, right? So because I'm using a, because I'm going to use, we'll just put that on there, you go. You need the credit for the 20, right? And for the bottom. So I need to put my user defaults in here. So it's very simple. You're just going to use a very simple if statement, right? So if something, you know, show the app, otherwise show the onboarding, right? Let's just stop this out. So what we can do here is very simple. We just comment this one. And so if you've seen them, go ahead, load the app. If you haven't seen them, load the onboarding, right? That's how that works. All right, let's, what am I doing here? I just clicked the wrong button. Sorry, give me 1 second. There we go. All right, let's get rid of this. So we're gonna use, we use a default here. Save me typing this out. I've actually got it typed out over here already. I'm just going to paste it in and then I'll talk to it. Hopefully, I would think that if you've done any level of Swift, this will probably make sense, right? So if not, so if user defaults.standard.bool for a key that I'm describing, which I'm just going to call show onboarding, if that doesn't exist or is basically not true, go ahead and show the app. Otherwise, anything else, like it doesn't exist, which it won't the first time you install and run the app, or when we get to our button where we're going to change it, go ahead and show the onboarding start. So when we run it now, we should see the onboarding, right? First of all, because this doesn't exist, right? Our preset, our user default doesn't exist, so we go through and we get the screens. All right, let's now just jump back to screen number 4 on our button here, and then for the action, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say user defaults, but I need to change this to set, right? So when you click the button, either find and set or create a user default key called show onboarding, right? But because I'm setting it, I got to give it a value as well. So I'm going to say true. Okay. So if this doesn't exist, or if it does exist and it's regardless of what it's set for, I want, when you click the button, set it to true for that key. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. User defaults is great for simple things like this. Now let's run it again. All right, we got, you know, it's going to show it because we haven't done it yet. I'm going to get to the end. I'm going to hit the start button. It's not going to switch out because we haven't switched out the views. But what I'm going to do now is I'll stop the app and run it again. We should have set that user default so that now, if I got this right and I don't look a total idiot, we shouldn't see it and we should go straight into the app. Oh, I got something wrong. What did I do here? Hang on. So I got something wrong. User default standard set true for key da 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 da. Did I get it backwards somewhere? Let's have a look. Oh, I did get it backwards. Did you spot the mistake? Should be false, right? Wow. So see what happens when you do it live. Okay. I have to go through. I'll set it again. All right. Because it's set to true. Show it. Who knew? Everybody but me. Right. Stop it. Run it again. We get the app. Fantastic. So I'm straight into the app. Everything works as expected. Brilliant. One last thing to do. Now, this is where things might get a little interesting here. So I need to set this. It's okay to copy and paste your own code. or anyone else's for that matter. All right, let's go back over to the start button. Happens to me more than I care to admit. Thank you. Just knowing that somebody else says, hey, it happens, makes me feel infinitely better. Everybody always, by the way, all my developer friends and all my developers that work with me on the day job, they're like, you don't do live coding, don't do live coding. I'm like, no, fall on the sword, right? I think if you've ever listened to the podcast, which you can find at compileswift.com/podcast, I always say that learning in public is a great way to not only share with other people of all levels of experience, but also to make you feel more comfortable about making mistakes and feel more comfortable about knowing that it's going to happen and learning from it, right? So don't ever feel bad, but don't make the silly ones like I do. All right. Okay, so we've got this here. So we're going to set this, and I'm hoping that maybe if I get lucky, I can just set the content view. Setting the environment object here is what worries me though. But actually I don't, because I do need this on the first run, but I'm not, I got to be completely honest, I'm not sure how well that's going to work for me, because this is new to me, right? I'm learning this as you're learning it. I know it's fine back at the beginning, but I don't know about this here because I'm setting up an environment object that I'm not actually going to use on this screen. Does that make sense? It's fine here because this is the top level window group and I need this to be here with all the data for the application is what that sets up. It sets up a space where the data is available throughout the entire app as an environment object. I need it here, but the problem is I also need it over here. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure how this is going to work. It feels like this is wrong just because it's giving me a warning. But if I take that off, I got a feeling that's not going to work for me. It'll load the view. I just don't think the app's going to work properly, right? So, and in fact, actually what I need to do here is navigate. So maybe if I do that, that'll work out just fine. So let me show you what I mean by navigate in case you don't know. So let me go here, add a new preset. On this one, for example, when you hit the button to add a new preset, it navigates away from the screen, right? So you will find, well, actually, this is a bad example. No, here it is, right? This one actually dismisses the view. That's not there. Trying to find you a good example of where I've done it here. Content view, details view has got one. Okay. So all of this exists in a navigation stack. And if I go to the preset list, for example, when you tap on a preset list, there's a navigation link, right? And it says, go to this screen. Well, you know, maybe I can even just use the navigation link. What I need you to be able to do is not swipe backwards, right, into the screens, if that makes sense. Tell you what we'll do. Let's try this. I mean, hey, it's all about discovery, right? Again, I've not done these onboarding screens before, so this is new for me. I don't mind making mistakes on this. Don't need the content view. I'm just getting rid of all the stuff I don't need. Okay, here it is. So let's do this. I need these earphones, so I'll get rid of these. All right. Happiness here right now. Let's start by fixing these up one by one. Okay. So we're going to set that. Then we've got this navigation link. Now then the destination is going to be, let's get rid of all of this. The destination is going to be the content, well, you know, content view. All right, let's just copy it. How's everybody's weekend going, by the way? Hope it's going good for you. I'm eagerly excited to get my stand-up desk should be arriving later today. It's Saturday here in Texas. So I'm going to be setting up my stand-up desk this afternoon. That'll be fun. All right. So we've got this here. Result of navigation link destination initializer is unused. I actually don't need that there. I'm wondering if I should wrap this entire button in a navigation link. Maybe that's what I need to be doing. So maybe I don't need the button at all. Now that I think about it. Bear with me as I move some code around. Replaced it with... All right, I'm going to trust your Xcode. Well, so much for trusting Xcode. Actually, I've seen this before. Hang on. I'm going to take that entire label. If I remember correctly, navlink is a button that navigates you somewhere. That's what I'm thinking too, right? Thank you, Darkbringer. I'm thinking the same thing. I've done this before where you're like, oh, a button, and then you put it in a navlink, and it's like, but wait, a navlink is a button, right? So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this here and get rid of this label, because that shouldn't be there for starters. Put this... Oh, I feel like I got myself in a world of hurt here. Hold on. I gotta clean up my code, something terrible. Don't need this button action there. Don't need any of that. Right. Navigation link, yada yada da, destination, content view, blah 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 blah. But we also need, if I go back to my, you'll see on here, right, you need, I should save myself some heartache here, right? I should just take this whole thing. Let's just start underneath again and replace the parts. All right. So in here, I got to think about this now though, because I got to set that. Let's take this out of here. What I'm thinking is, what it's not going to like is the line for the preset there, because it's expecting UI elements, right? So actually, let's just do this backwards. Let's take this text from here. Get rid of this one. Let's turn that off for now. Put that in there like that. I'm pretty sure I got some issues here with there. And I think I'm missing one. Here, I think, yeah, for the navigation link. Oh, really? No, that is... All right. Jeez. Let's just take out the whole thing. Start again. Did you ever have one of those days? We're going to take out all of this. And that one. There, let's just put that in there for now. Some extra curlies from before the deleted button, I guess. Yeah. You know when you get to that point where sometimes you're like, I'm just going to just delete it all and start over, and then fix my colors as I go. Wow, that is so wrong. Okay, thank you. It's like there's too many red marks. All right, so gonna have some text in here. We're just gonna put text start. I'll leave the frame and everything else right now because I do want those. Okay. Failed to compile, but you're not telling me why. What? Did I delete something over here? What's this padding go to? The padding is to the navigation link, right? Oh, okay. You know what? Yeah, look. That should be like that. Should be like that. There is one missing here somewhere. There we go. Whew. Yay! Jeez. Anyone win a prize for figuring that one out? Oh, what do you... Oh, Safari, come on. Hang on, Safari in my other window here has just decided, like, yeah, I'm gonna be horrible. All right, there we go. Okay. So we got our start button with some text at last. Now, what I'm worried about though, is, like I say, is two things. First of all, let's do this. Let's do it so it loads up the content view. Hopefully, maybe, with the environment object. Fingers crossed on that. I feel at this point hitting the play button is the way to go. Okay, so we got nothing because we know that it's been set on a previous install. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove the app, which should remove the settings. Run it again. Should now see the onboarding screens, which I don't. Why am I not seeing it? Does it, even when I remove the app? Surely it doesn't remember. Didn't change nothing there, right? Content view, frankly, doesn't care because it's got nothing to do with it. The full screen's got a navigation link. If I delete the app, should it not delete the user standard defaults with it as well? Let's also clean the build folder. Let's wipe everything out. Change it from user defaults plist. You mean the plist for the plist for the app? But I thought that if you removed from the simulator, it also would remove the settings, right? Does that make sense? Because how would it know to remember? Or are you saying that Xcode is sending over the user defaults plist? Actually, you know what? For that matter, is there a way? Oh, well, I can never find the settings on my machine to get into the plist on here, but let's see if that's what you mean. macOS keeps everything you do permanent. Oh, so you're saying it's on the macOS, and then, of course, it pulls that from the derived data. Is that what you're saying? And it sits there. Oh, boy, I hate having to go and find that derived data. You might be right. But you know what? Hang on. I may be able to just, now that I think about it, I could just one time do this, right? If I do that, I'm not going to leave it there, but of course not. I was really hoping that it would just let me do it there and set it one time. Oh, you know what? It's not going to let it do it there either. This is one of the things that infuriates me about SwiftUI sometimes is you can add a button to change it back. Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad plan. You know, like just on the first screen, just go in and add a button just to just for this purposes of this. I like this. Good thinking. Good job. Well done, Darkbringer. Thank you. All right, title, action, label. So the action is going to be to set it to true. That can just say button, and we will make the color foreground color color dot white, just so I can see the text, because that will be nice, right? Okay. Oh, but hang on a minute. I've done it on the wrong one, haven't I? I need to put it on there. That's fine. Let's take this button. Get rid of it. I'm going to go over to my preset list here, which is the one that goes through all the stuff. And at the very top, let me see. And I just, is it going to be happy enough to let me put it, just put it in above there? Let's see. All right. My bad. It's got to go in the one when there is no list. Yeah, I see what you're getting at, right? You're saying that the white text was on the white background. Yeah, just as you just said that, I thought, hang on. There it is, right there. All right, let's click the button. Okay. Beautiful. 10 out of 10, Darkbringer. Thank you. It's my emergency. Oh my gosh, put a button in quickly. Come on. Thank you. All right. Let's go back. Okay. Now, let's run it. Whew. And people say that user onboarding should be a thing. No wonder nobody does it, right? Okay. So we got our 4 screens. I swiped through. I got my start button, got to add my padding back down there. But if I click that, okay, it didn't take me to my app, but let's see if it did set the default, set the user default. No, it didn't. Okay. So what's going on there? Something's not right. Navigation link. So firstly, this didn't happen. It's understandable that it didn't set the preset, the user default, because I haven't got the line of code in there yet to actually set it. That makes sense. Yeah, perfect. Well done. Thank you. But it didn't navigate. That's the part that's worrying me here. I'm just curious. If I take this off, right? It should. I expect the app to not be happy because content view. It needs the environment object, but it should at least get me there. And it's not doing it. So what am I doing wrong? I gotta think. I'm wondering if it's because maybe your click didn't register because 4 dots are on the way. It's possible. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take that navigation link right there, and I'm going to add to the bottom. Let's do 60 this time. Are you in a navigation view? Yes, it should be, because hang on, let me think about that. Maybe I'm jumping in too early here. I can't remember now if I set the navigation view on. Oh, hey, Coco type. Sorry, just didn't see you drop in. I should be, but I may be too early. This may not be in a navigation view, to be fair. I got to go back and look. Okay, so there's the start button. Oh, can't even click on that. All right, hang on. let me go backwards here. Let me wind all the way back. So what we've got here, Cocoa type's a genius, by the way. No pressure. Oh, you know what? Hang on. You're quite right, because onboarding start has a content view, obviously does have a navigation view. But now that you mention it, onboarding start has a tab view, not a navigation view. I'm wondering, it's going to look a little ugly at first, but is it as simple as just wrapping this sucker right here into a navigation view and expecting everything to go horribly wrong? All right, I can fix this. Not a problem there. Go through. All right, there we go. Fantastic. Cocoa type, thank you. Where have you been? We needed you so badly. By the way, you should check out Cocoa Type's stream. I learn a lot from him. Again, no pressure. Love the Swift community. All right, let's go. Let's now start going backwards here. Hang on. So let's get rid of the preset list. Let's get rid of the onboarding screens. We've got what we need right now, right? We've got the button, but I'm going to get rid of that. Now, if I put this back in, are we just that lucky that this is going to work? Can't seem to catch him while streaming. Yeah. Well, see, I think Cocoa Type, I'm thinking you're a bit of a late night owl like myself. So what I normally do, folks, just so you know, stayed up too late last night and just woke up. Hey, no, you know what? Get all the sleep you can before DC is what I say. Normally what I do in the evenings, bit of a confession here, is I'll sit down and I'll think about streaming, and then I'll see that Cocoa Type or somebody else might be on, and I don't want to stream when someone else is streaming because I love to watch them stream. So I'll normally come in afterwards, which is really late at night. And then sometimes by the time other people are finished, I'm like, oh, do I want to do this now, or should I wait and come at it fresh? But what we've learned today is doing it now, even when I'm fresh, I still make stupid mistakes. So maybe it doesn't make any difference either way. All right, going through the 4. Anyone want to place any bets? I'm going to be optimistic and say it works. Oh, but now we have navigation within navigation. That's the problem. So Cocoa Type, just so you know, what we originally had here before a navigation link was a button. But I think I messed it up. And we thought, oh, navigation link is a better way to go, which it is because it worked. But now I'm navigation within navigation. So what I need to do is tell the parent to navigate, not my inner one. Does that make sense? Or am I off the base there? But before we do that, let's just make sure that the app still works, right? So we've at least got functional, my preset. Hello. Save. Okay, the app's working. Well, he says it should store it. Let's make sure it's stored in the storage. All right. Okay, good. It's functional. Well, yeah, it passed the unit test. Okay. Now, what I also need to have happen on the full screen is, let me go back. This user default here needs to be set. This is something I struggled with. My app actually navigation inside navigation because it didn't work without inside a navigation. yeah. As long as you keep navigating within the navigating, you're going to end up with like a one-line screen of content. But hey, it works, right? Makes sense. Maybe make the onboarding a modal and then have start dismiss it instead of navigation. That's not a bad idea, actually. But if I remember rightly, well, one of the things I didn't like is when they changed that modal window so that it was dismissible, and it caused no end of trouble for previous versions of apps, right? because you now had like a login modal that was dismissible, and we had untold trouble with that. But I know that you can set it, so I could do it that way. I thought that this would be the easiest way, which it is the easiest way to get into it. It's not the easiest way to get out of it, it seems. So maybe I do need to rethink that. I could explore that as an option, right? Because otherwise I'm going to have to tell the parent, navigate, and so on, and that just feels wrong somehow, you know? Deal with the different modal types in Swift. Yeah. No, they get weird, and I'm sure it's weird because I haven't used it enough. I'll all the apps that I work on to this point that are out in production and so on, they're not SwiftUI apps, right? So we don't have these problems. But I'm sure with all of you as well, part of the reason I do personal projects is fail on my personal project, didn't fail on the professional one. We don't have any situations, right? But sometimes you think, boy, I don't know if this was a good plan. I volunteered for this problem. You might be right. Let's get it working, right? So what I need to have happen here, and maybe someone can provide me some insight, because this area of SwiftUI still gives me some trouble, right? Is it possible? Now, I know that I can't just obviously put in a line of code and have it execute, right? So we know, for example, you can't just have, like, I'll just set my line of code here, right? So you see what I'm getting at, right? We know you can't do that. It's not going to like it. See, yeah. But what I could do, right, is create a function outside of here and have it call it here. Let me make sure I get this right. So outside of the view, I could have something like turn off onboarding, right? And I can put it there. I may have one too many. Yep, there you go. That should be perfectly okay. But now I need to call this function somehow in here. So I'm kind of back to my original problem. So how do you do that, right? How do you set that in here? Because I can't put it inside the navigation link. So does anybody know? I actually like the idea, by the way, I don't like having code inline. I like the idea of breaking it out into functions so that not only is it clean so if somebody else looks at the code, but also if I need to do anything else, I can put it right there and it's not a whole bunch of jumble inline, right? But I'm trying to figure out how do I mean, you just can't. Oops. That can't be valid, right? Yeah, because it doesn't conform, right? Maybe you got to do on tap gesture, turn it back to a button. Oh, you mean, oh, wait, put a button? You could put a button inside the navigation link, right? Is that what you're talking about? Let's see, I would think that would also work, would it not? Compiler's not complaining. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Should we try it? Let's try it. Hey, what's another horribly bad coding mistake at this point? It's just another one. All right. Wait for the debug window to come up and a whole bunch of exceptions. Okay. Stop the app. Start it again. Oh, but you know what? I made the same stupid mistake I made before. This actually has to be false. Oh, you know when you set a Boolean and you're like, I really should have just done this the other way around for that Boolean to begin with. All right, that didn't do anything here so far. That's right. Click on there. Stop it. Run it. Okay, I'm just way off the mark, aren't I? I can tell. Hold on, navigation link is for dismissing the onboarding view, right? Correct. Before you tried to do that with a button, just turn delete the navigation link. Or am I very confused? No, you're right. Originally the idea... Oh, onboarding disappear, yeah. No, but, okay, so Darkbringer, firstly, you're right. Originally we had a button, that was the plan. And then I thought, because in my brain I was like, wait, I'm inside a navigation, I gotta navigate, right? But then I think I allowed that to distract my brain into thinking the wrong way. And if we did a button, since we're not in navigation, we can delete the navigation on the outside, solves that problem, have the button. But then the reason we stopped using the button, yeah, sure, I got you, thank you. The reason we stopped using the button was because then I had to navigate. I would then have to figure out how to tell the app, load this view, not navigate to that view, right? Which could potentially play into CocoaType's suggestion of a modal. If you dismissed the modal, that would make that a little bit easier, but it would be preferable to sort of future-proof it maybe a little bit in case Apple changes their mind again on the modal windows, to keep it as a view and have the button load up the other view, which is something I'd have to look into. So too many options, right? And I didn't even hit the breakpoint. So yeah, let's get rid of this. Let's take that. See, isn't this fun? So much more fun to foul with other people than just sit here and shout at the screen. Because I have to be like, I can't tell Xcode what I think of it right now, even though it's not Xcode's fault, it's probably my fault, but you know, it's Xcode's fault. All right, so hold on. Let's take all, okay, that non-starter of an idea. Let's take this back out. We're just going to do that. Let's go back to a button. And we know that works because we did that. Oh, Peter. Yeah. Oh my God, Xcode, stop. Thank you. There. Stop it. Thank you. Everything that's a device was ultimately Xcode support for not being helpful enough. You're absolutely right. All right. And when are they going to change the icon to a dumpster fire? Don't worry. Next week, Apple's going to tell us they've fixed every issue in Xcode. I'm certain of it. Talking about that, by the way, I will be getting together with my friend Leo Dion from the Empower Apps podcast from Bright Digit. And we are going to be recording 2 new podcasts for the keynote and State of the Union reaction. So we'll be recording those on Monday for you guys. Yeah, see, Darkbringer, CocoaType, myself, since us 3 agreed, I mean, doesn't that really make it unanimous, right? And they should just do that. All right. Let's resume this. It only takes 3 developers to agree, and then something has to happen, right? Is there a panic? I don't know what a panic basket would look like, but in my head, I'm seeing like, you know, just a normal basket, but on fire with bears jumping out of it. Maybe with a sandwich in their mouth that's on fire, something like that. I don't know. Oh, Love you guys and girls. All right. You know what? First of all, before we go any further, as I've already learned here, we need bottom padding here, right, of 60, just to move it up above the dots. 3 developers agree on something is pretty rare, to be honest. Yeah. Actually, maybe that's the sign, right? If 3 developers agree on something, it's wrong and you shouldn't do it. Like, for example, 3 developers at Apple saying, you know, maybe we should charge 30% for every transaction. All right. Now, definitely if 3 lawyers agree on something, you don't trust it, right? Right. I'm going to change it. Again, I'm just going to change this to color white for now so we can see it. Now, that alone will make it work for us. But now we need to navigate away from it, right? Let's check where we're at. Actually, sorry, hold on. Let's back up here. Let's go back to our onboarding screen. Let's get rid of this navigation view. We don't need it. We think we don't need it. All right. You know, maybe that's why development teams should only have 2 developers. Any more than 2 and you've got a problem, right? And that's a controversial statement because all of my teams have more than 2 developers. And I've always worked on teams with more than 2 developers unless it was just me. All right, so we hit start. I have broken my padding here, but I'll fix that. I hit start, stop it. So now we shouldn't see it. Perfect, right? We're back where we were before we did the navigation link. Fantastic. Now, question is, how do I now navigate to the content view, right? So in other words, how do I now get this to load up? It can't be that simple, right? I mean, that would just be too convenient. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting though. Look, because of course it's loading it as a sub view. Don't want that to happen, but that is interesting. That will be useful in the future. So how do I tell it, hey, swap out? I'm wondering if, let me go back here. Do I have to go back and access the window group and say, hey, window group, be this? Does that sound reasonable? That's one of those things where it sounds logical, but I'm always like, wait, somebody somewhere laughing, going, you're an idiot, right? Self dot window group can't be a thing there, right? The content and behavior of the view. It's a view. Self dot body? No. Nah, right? Cannot assign property body. Yeah, it's okay. Oh, wait. No, I feel like I'm just way off the mark there. All right, let's go to the web browser. Let's see. How do I? How do I change the top level view in a SwiftUI application? setting up a blah, blah, blah. See if the body, obviously the body exists at that point, but if it's a read-only property, there's a good reason and I can't do it, right? Hang on. Let's SwiftUI. Nope, it's not. Let's look at the documentation for the view. All right, can't access any of those. I feel like this is one of those things, it must be so simple that I'm going to feel really silly for not knowing what it is. All right, but you know what? I am going to get rid of this. I am convinced myself, rightly or wrongly, that, yeah, a button is the way to go here. You know what, though? I have got to grab myself some more coffee because my brain is out of coffee. Set a state at the top level. Switch the view. On that, I think you already had this, and then pass the binding down to onboarding. Hold on, let me back up. Yes, I think we're talking about this here, right? The window group checks the user default. If the user default doesn't exist or is anything other than true, it's going to load the content view like it would. But if it does exist and it's true, it loads the onboarding, which is why we flip it around the other way at the end. I think you already did this and then pass. Set as, oh wait, so you're saying because if I set it as a state, the state changes and it rebuilds the view and then it'll reevaluate whether that's true or false and perform the same operation, right? Is that what your suggestion, Coco type? By invalidating the view, by changing the data, we force SwiftUI to do it again. Yeah, make that a state where the initial value is the user default value. Got it. Okay. All right. Give me 2 seconds. I got to get some coffee. I will be right back. But I like where this is going. Thank you. I will be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere. There's more disasters to come. All right, back with more coffee. We got some Starbucks Columbia this time. Okay, let's see what's going on here. More disasters to come is such a great tagline. I feel like I should just put that on my resume. There's more disasters to come. If you hire me, there's going to be more disasters. Coding is basically a disaster managing game without the UI. So true, right? It all works fine until we write the first line of code and then boom. Xcode's errors just need to be little fire and lightning bolt symbols from SimCity 2000. Oh my god, yeah. I loved SimCity 2000. Okay, hands up. Everybody who worked for weeks, months, whatever, built a fabulous city and then decided today is the day that the tornado and Godzilla attacks, right? Because that's what it's all about, you know? Love that. Love that idea. Yeah. An animated. It's got to be an animated icon. Yeah, there you go. See, hands in the air. Thank you, Doc Minger. I actually thought, you know, maybe I should do this like I got some SimCity somewhere. What it would be like to just have constant disasters from the beginning, right? So every time you try and build that first house, you just see all these disasters coming for it. And you're thinking, whoever's living in that house, they're in big trouble. But I also would want to see them reach down and grab the cars, right? You know? And it'd still be better than the newer Godzilla movies. Oh, boy. All right. Okay, so let's think. So we are saying inside this one up here, we're going to make a state variable, right? So state var show onboarding, right? And its default value should be this, right? So by all reasonable assumptions, out of the box, new install, this doesn't exist, right? And then down here, let's take this one out. Show onboarding is true if it's false or anything other than true. Do that. Otherwise, do that. Okay. Cannot convert. Yada yada yada. Yeah. Okay. I know I got it wrong. I always get it wrong. Yep. Okay. Now, thing is, so this one right here. Over on screen 4, instead of having this, we don't have to worry about that. We want to change this. All right, we've got to have hold on, let me just think about something here for a second. When I did this, it just reminded me of something that I was thinking about the other day. I had those. Yeah, okay. Can you not make it public var? Does it even matter since it's at the top level here of my application? Because what we're going to want to do is, and if I've got this wrong, I apologize, but since it's a state variable at the top level in my app, should it not be available everywhere in the app anyway? Because I'm going to want to set this value later on, change this value later on. It doesn't need to be public, but I'm pretty sure you can, and it won't complain, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I think what I'm saying is, I'm not sure if that makes a difference or not. Cocoa type, maybe. I know you've played around with some of this state stuff. Maybe you know better than I do. I'm sure you know better than I do. Does that change anything? Yeah, I'm really not sure, to be honest. So let's leave it there for now and see. And then if we if this works, we can try and bring it back in and lock it down a bit more later. But I don't know that it makes a difference since it's at the top level. Hey, Dragon Dust, how you doing? Hi, normally a state var should be private. Okay, so let's follow the convention. Take that off of there, like so, right? But again, because it's at this top level in the app and not normally in one of my views, am I right in thinking maybe Dragon Dust, maybe and thank you, nice to have you here. Is that something that should still be available, right? I'm just going to now bind to this in my other view and change the value, which should kick this off again to repaint. So it's kind of private, but private within the app. I think it doesn't do anything special. I was thinking you need to put an on binding on your onboarding. I was thinking that same thing too, right? So I was thinking, the binding here would be, let me just paste it in, saves me doing it again, right? Would the binding not be show onboarding? Don't need any of that, right? I've got this binding here, and then down here, I got something wrong. What'd I do? What did I miss? Type annotation with, okay, well, it's a bool, right? There you go. And then let's just get this to build and get rid of, well, not build. Show on board. Oh, wait, it's going to be over in my, yeah. Doesn't matter for this, really. It's just to make the error go away. There. Be happy. Be happy, Xcode. We want you to be happy. Oh my God. Really? What am I doing? Have I pushed it too far in my brain this morning? This afternoon? Whatever the time is. Oh my gosh, that's the time. Do a .constant true in the preview. Thank you. Oh, wait. No, am I doing this wrong? Sorry, where do you put that? That's a new one on me. In here. Constant true. All right, didn't like something. Oh. Doesn't matter. It's only for the preview. See, don't you love how just SwiftUI is great, but it just, when you add something, it's like, oh my God, for the binding. Sorry. You mean up here? Binding var show onboarding bool. I'm not sure I understand. You're saying I had the constant true in the preview. Oh, for the binding. Sorry. Yeah. That one there. That's what you're saying, right? No, down in the preview part. All right. You know, I would really love to, I wish that like the OBS and whatnot would give me a way to have an audio channel in here. Maybe I should just fire up a Discord or something. Okay, and then add one here as well. True. Doesn't make any difference really for this. I'm just trying to make Xcode happy, which is an impossible task because we're only going to get there if we ever get past the first three. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Whew. All right, what is it now? pretty sure there's something in here I need to take out. I'm just trying to find it. Updating took more than 5 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, but why? All right, we're going to carry on here. So for the button action, I need to change my show onboarding here. Well, actually, I still want to set the user defaults, but then show onboarding should be false, right? Go on, Xcode. I dare you to complain about something. It did. I knew it would. I'm going to hit play anyway, because sometimes you just got to hit play. Okay, didn't see it because we know that we'd said it previously. Got it. We're going to do a little trick that we did here before. Thanks to, who is it? I'm trying to remember. Darkbring, it was you, right? Yeah. We're going to go backwards here now. And then what I'm going to do is on the preset list, at the very top here. Well, first of all, let's just back up. Let's get rid of this preset. Okay. Now in here, I'm going to add a button because I just want to, and this is only a very temporary development thing. Darkbring has seen this before. It was their idea. I give them full credit for this because they deserve it. I just want to reset the value here, right? User defaults, set it to show, just so I can conveniently reset it in the app here. All right, reset, stop. Start it again. Okay, got our onboarding screens. And again, there's going to be graphics in here for those of you that were joining late. It's not going to look like this when I'm finished. Going to go through my... Oh, what's it thinking about? Uh-oh. Let me start again. I may have been too fast. No, oh boy. Sometimes this stuff just gets so annoying. You get so close and then boom. I got a feeling it's going to be because of this, right? Because we were just about to load up the third screen. And then the fourth screen has this show onboarding now, right? And I think that that's what's causing it to bomb, and that may be the same reason here. What do you all think? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm hoping and what I'm thinking. All right. Expand the stack trace. It looked huge. Some kind of infinite recursion. Yeah, I'm all about infinite recursion. Let's go. I'll go through it again. All right. Where are we looking here? Don't use .constant outside the preview block. You have to provide a valid binding there, I think. Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you. So, let's back up. Preset list. No, sorry. This one here. True. You could add an exception breakpoint to catch the part where it happens. Yeah, good point. Yeah, thank you. Cannot convert type value of type bool to expected argument type. We won't tell you. There it is, binding. Does this have to be? Darkbringer, are you suggesting that I'm missing the $sign somewhere? I know I'm not going to want it here, and I'm not going to want it there. But I didn't think you put it there, right? Or do you? Yeah. Right, I didn't think that was. I think you need a middle binding on the onboarding start to forward it to page 4. Gotcha. Okay. So you know what? Let's just borrow this one, right? And then your suggestion, pass it off here. And I can just set this to true because it's the preview. Constant. Yep, now set that binding to your state at the top level. Sorry, screen 4. Hold on, let me catch up here. This is a new one to me, by the way, setting this down here in the previews, so that's interesting. Right, what do I got now? What doesn't it like here? Hold on, preset. Oh, why don't we just pass everything to everything? Okay, fix it. Come on. Okay, and so this one should be show onboarding, right? Everybody agree? Is there anywhere we don't have this binding now? Just add your state here, then you're good. Okay. You know when you're like, I had this really simple idea, and 300 bindings later, I really hate this idea. Okay, good. Got nothing. Got this right. You know what's going to happen? I know exactly what's going to happen. When I finally finish this damn app, no one's going to use it. All right, we got the same problem still. Well, we've got a problem still. And at this point, I know, like, I think Coco Type, I think it was you the other day on one of your streams. You've done a whole bunch of stuff, and you're like, I'm so far down the rabbit hole, I'm not sure I can get back up it again. Basically, a binding is a state which comes from outside the object. All right, thank you. Okay. So what the hell's going on here? Hey, expand this stack trace. All right. When you say expand the stack trace, expand all of these, which ones are you talking about? It's the first of the tiny buttons at the. It's the first of the tiny buttons at the bottom next to my face. Oh, hang on. These are the buttons next to... I gotta look and see where my face is on the screen. This one right here, right? Click on your face! Click on your face! Yeah, that old chestnut, right? Oh, this can't be good. All right, can't do anything about those. Are all the Apple ones. Let's go down, go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. All right, woo. Something is calling itself over and over. Yeah, I think it's called chaos. And what the hell was I thinking? Yeah. Click on one of the ones that says closure. Any of the 5,000 that says closure. Right, hang on, I'm looking for one that says closure. Right there. I'm not sure that's helping me. Maybe in all the repeats, although you may just be getting assembly. I think it's just assembly up here in all of these ones. Yeah. I think what it's basically telling me in a very obscure way is this on the fourth screen is the problem. Because it's not until we get to here this starts to be a problem. Right? And I'm wondering that it might not be this here. I'm going to do this in a very manual way. Hold on. Let's stop this. Start again. I mean, I know that code's not triggered till I hit the button, but it still thinks about it, right? Some view modifier is causing the view to redraw, which is causing the view modifier to run, which causes the view to redraw. Yeah. All right. Hang on. Thing is, what could it be? And I don't think there's any view modifiers here. But you know what? Just to make sure I didn't do something stupid, let's just look at the third screen. No, I mean, it's very simple, very straightforward, right? Okay. I think the fact that it happens when it's loading the third screen is a coincidence, and it's really about the fourth one is what I'm thinking. Because what's the self in label for? Nothing. This was supposed to be simple. Dismiss this page, show this page action, but here we are looking at the admin. Darkbringer, thank you. I'm glad that you're the voice of reason, because my brain was like, this. I just wanted to help the users that'll hopefully be using the app. But that self right there shouldn't even be a thing, right? It's just to remind me that I exist. Well spotted. See, okay, so here's the thing. The fact that I've got that self there, and the fact that Xcode didn't tap me on the shoulder and like, hey buddy, you didn't finish this. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, thank you. Okay, you know what? I blame Xcode for that one, because for you be the label of the button. Yeah, you know what? I take the responsibility for putting self in, but I blame Xcode for not asking me, what the hell are you thinking? Oh my God. See, it's always a silly little thing, right? Get it together. Yes, I know. Next week, one feature I want from WWDC is a new feature in Xcode that'll check for self. Okay, start. Goes to the app. Let's make sure the app works before we go any further. Okay, I should just ship this if it works, right? Save it. It was texting while coding. Okay, app's working. Great. Stop it. Should not see the onboarding screens. Please don't let me see the onboarding screens. Oh my God. Oh my God. Dumpster fire, brain exploding. And see, this is why I was just like, no, I'm doing the streaming thing. Oh, all right. Let's just quick functionality test. Yeah, that's good. Now, I'm going to reset it to trip it back again. Stop it. Play it. How did I not see that self sitting there? Xcode, why did you not see that self sitting there? All right. Beautiful, everybody. Guess what? Darn thing works. It's a community app at this point. All right. Before I go any further, though, because I know me, and if I don't do it right now, I'm going to go back to my preset list. I'm going to take out that button. Well, yeah, I'm going to take it out, because otherwise I'll forget that it's there. Oh, Lord. So many people to thank for this. All of you, bless you. Thank goodness you all dropped by. What I'm hoping is that my developers that work for me during the day are not seeing this and being like, our boss is an idiot. Self is okay there for the compiler because it is a view and you can put a view into a view. That's true, but wouldn't you think that it would question, like, hey, I'm going to keep doing this forever? But I guess it could treat it as, and so you're saying like an infinite recursion of a sub-view is basically what would happen, right? It's like the old school the TV effects with the infinite thing, right? Yeah. Which puts a view inside a view, that puts a view inside a view, which puts a view inside that view. Yeah, but eventually they're so small you can't see them. All right. Okay. Believe it or not, here we are, like, what, an hour and 47 minutes later, maybe 200 errors later. We actually have got done here what I wanted to get done. More accurately, I typed in all the things you all told me to do to get through this. But that's what the Swift community is all about, right? So thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hopefully, this helps a lot. And part of the reason I want to put these things out on the stream is, especially with the errors, that it helps other people. That's really the main goal here. Oh my God, what a nightmare. What a total nightmare, but the feature works. Gonna git commit this before just I have some other, like, oh, this is a great idea. It's a very simple thing. What surprises me about this is all of the binding stuff that we had put in place. I never in a million years would I have thought that that would have to be a thing like we've got. It makes sense to bind it at the end and at the beginning, but to have to set it at the app level and then have it make sure you're constantly sending it forward seems weird to me. But hey, okay, I'll go with it. Oh my gosh, thank you everyone, really, seriously. This is the last major feature once I finish those screens for the app. There's one other feature that's not fully working yet. Let me show you what that is. And some of you, if you've seen the previous streams, you'll have seen this. And I've thought of a way to deal with this too. Oh, that coffee's good. Okay, let me get through this. So, what it is in the settings over here, the idea being was, and I say I've covered this before, but for those of you who may not have seen it, you know, you put all your settings in, you store all your data in the app, and you should have a way to back it up because, hey, you may foolishly delete the app one day or something, right? Guilty. So I put in this export presets that basically allows me to copy the JSON file somewhere else. Coco Type says, I do think you still have one more bug with the user defaults. The top level one is going to default to false, which might be why you need that reset button. Oh, yes. We'll come back to that in a second. Good point. So, you know, I can copy my presets list, which is just a JSON file, the data, somewhere else. What I don't have working is the import, because turns out the import, everything that I've looked at so far, the idea of bringing a file back in pretty much depends, at least from everything I've seen, on it being a document-based app, which this isn't. But I've got a plan, because I'm thinking I can kill two birds with one stone, as they say. Instead of having the file locally here, I'm actually thinking now that one of the features I wanted to do in the future was to have it work on multiple, you know, my phone, my iPad, whatever, to store it in iCloud. And if I store the data in iCloud, I don't have to export and import. I just need to load and save it from iCloud instead of the local bundle, app bundle. And then that way, import, export doesn't matter, and it always exists, and it's backed up. So I'm actually thinking I may switch to that model and kill both problems in one go. But I figured that's not really an MVP thing. I could do that next round of updates or something like that, maybe. Yeah, Coco Type. No, you're fine. No, don't worry, please. You know, so I just wanted to show that this is the one thing I haven't done that I wanted to do. Other than that, it's making the help content. It's making the finishing up the screens. Let's go back though before we go any further. So you're saying this one here is going to default to false because very first time around it won't exist. Let me remove the app and see if I've got that. You're saying here really what I should do, and if I understand it correctly and it's making sense to me, this should really be true, right? First install, you want it to be true, right? Because you want that to be a thing, right? This is not going to exist for sure. First time around, it'll be false. And so you're saying, oh, in which case it's going to go right into here. Let's do this. Although I think this is going to be back to the, like we were saying earlier, about the bundles. So is that, have I got that right? Bool for key is false if there's nothing set for the key. That's what I was thinking, right? So if I just set the onboarding here to be true, but what I'm worried about, no, actually I can't do that, right? Because that's only going to be here for the first time around. It needs to be true. After that, it needs to be false. So I can't hard code it there, but I don't think that's what you mean, right? Try it with a different simulator to be sure. Yeah, I'm going to try it on my phone is what I'm going to do, Darkbringer. Bool for key is false if there's nothing set for it. So let me think this through, right? This has to check against the value for future runs, right? This doesn't exist the first time around, so it's false, which you're saying will show this. You can use user defaults register or just flip everything. That's what I was wondering. If I just flip this flag right here, that's what I was thinking, right? So if show onboarding, well, no, that would actually make it not readable, human readable. If it resets to false, just refactor show onboarding to hide onboarding. Or why don't I just remove the feature that I just put in? I get them to download one version that's got it, and I'll say, like, when you're done this, now go download the other one. But if show onboarding is true, we want this, right? So I mean, let's just do this, right? Let's do it so it's human readable, makes sense. Otherwise, if it's not true, do this. All right, so when I get to the end and show onboarding is set to false in the defaults and on the screen here, which triggers the rebuild, goes back, sees that it's false, comes down here and does this. So now all we got to do is we're saying, all right, you know what, first time around, this has just got to be set to true somewhere first, right? Does that make sense? And I apologize that I'm looking down, but I got my iPad down here. When my standing desk gets here, I'm going to lay everything out so I'm sort of looking at you most of the time, right? So let me think. Can I do, I'm just sort of thinking it out loud here. I mean, if I did something like, say, in a init, right? And I say, hey, you know, show onboarding equals true, right? Sets it true for this view, which triggers that. No, because then you got a problem with this one. You see what I'm going? I think either I'm confusing myself by making this too complicated as I think about it, or there's just a problem here where you're going to get caught in a loop with the wrong one the first time around. So, because that reset button was just for me to test this, right? Let's get rid of the app. Although we learned that probably Mac OS is remembering the user default on this. So if it comes up with the app, I can't trust that that's right, because I think it's the Mac telling it that. So I think there's still a problem here, but I'm not sure what the answer is, right? This logic is more human readable. If it's true, do the thing. Otherwise, do the other thing. The logic at the end is correct, right? Set it to false. Don't do the thing. Darkbringer's approach is the right one. Rename show onboarding to hide onboarding, or has shown onboarding, and then flip all the value. All right, let's. You're saying change. So you're saying change the state here as well, right? So hold on. Okay, so hide onboarding, right? But hide onboarding is going to get the user default, so it's false right now. First run, right? I should have just done the refactor here, shouldn't I? Should hide onboarding. So if you're going to hide the onboarding, go back to this one. Sorry. Take that one out of there. Put that one in there. Oh, I gotta change all the bindings now, don't I? All right. Hide onboarding. Okay. But isn't that going to cause a problem over here now? This one needs to be hide onboarding as well. Hang on, back up, because we've got all these other ones as well. You're saying I got to change every single one of these? Because this is going to bind, right? You're following me? If I got to change all of these, if I have to change all of them, I don't see why it's making a difference, because it's just a name change. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm not understanding. Hide onboarding. All right, bear with me. Take me a second here. Okay, got to find all the places. Don't think there's any in this one. No. Third one doesn't have any. This one does. Hide. Change that there. Hide. This one stays the same. Well, actually, I should technically change the key. Yeah, I know. I'm bad. I'm terribly bad at not using the refactor. I don't know why. I've always been that way for forever. I just never think to use the refactoring. I should. It's a bad habit that I don't. I think that's all of them. Except that one. And the other one that I missed somewhere. All right. Let's do this. Okay. Going through. Actually, you know what? Before I complete it, we should just do a quick test and make sure that this still shows it. Yeah, okay. All right, hit the start. Nothing happening. But let's see if it changed the actual value in the defaults and it's just a view that's not up. No. Hide onboarding should, actually that should be, sorry, my bad. This should be true, right? At least Xcode tells something wrong. Yeah, really. Now it's like, oh, hey, you know, this thing. Because it's true, because we do want to hide it, all right? So, sorry, my bad. Hide onboarding equals true at the end, meaning there is what I assume you mean, yeah. Okay, go through. And the line above as well. Yeah, I think I got the two that you meant, right? Start, got the app, stop it, play it, got the app. Okay. I think we got what we wanted. Make sure the data stuff still works. All right, stop it. The good news is, if anybody ever needs to write an onboarding system, do exactly what we did here. We solved it for you. Okay, good. That's all working. All right. Thank you, everyone. I think Yeah, I agree with you, Kokoto. I think this feels like it's working correctly. I think my next phase now is to never ever write an app again. I think what I need to do now is I'm going to clean up, finish building the onboarding screens, get that taken care of. Oh, one important thing. Sorry, it just occurred to me. I want to go. I'm going to switch over to the dark mode, and what I want to do is just it suddenly occurred to me that I have not looked at the onboarding screens in dark mode. It should be fine, but I need to check. What I'm going to do, just quickly reset it here. So just going to run it one time here. Set true. Nope, sorry, false. Yeah. Okay, we do the button thing. Oh, Lord. I knew I shouldn't have taken that button out. All right. I had that one time. There were so many bugs in my light mode. Really, that's interesting. What I've found is, we have, I work on some apps that existed before there was a light and dark mode. And so, you get a little crazy with the color palettes. Dark mode comes along and you suddenly realize, oh, shoot, I'm using all these things that didn't have color assets for both modes. And now I've got to put a middleman in to fix those up, or go find every place that I put the color, right? Just coming out that button for later use. I should have done, right? I should have done. I just, you do it. You're so relieved something's working, and then you ship it, and you're like, oh, did I take that button yet? All right. Above the stack here. Button. Bitten. Button. Button bitten. Hey, at least we got to know user defaults really well. Actually, I've used them before, it's the truth. I'm going to call this the OMG button. Okay. Hey, Restream says, congratulations, you've received 100 messages today. I think that means that you just corrected my bad code like 98 times, right? You can also set default values in the scheme and then just have a nice checkbox for whether you want the onboard. That's a good point. I should do that. That would actually be a good stream too. Playing around with that stuff. That's a good point for the future. Yeah, thank you. All right, OMG button. Okay, stop. Play again. All right, what didn't I do here? So, oh, hide. No, wait. Because I got it backwards. Sorry. It's funny when you do it's like when I'm recording my tutorial videos for compileswift.com and every time you do one, like you struggle to think of something, then you do one, and then suddenly you've got 30 other ideas for things that you never thought, like, oh, I should never have to do a video on that, but then you realize you do. All right, click the button, stop, run it again. What have I got wrong? Oh. Set true for key. Why is that not doing anything? Show onboarding. Show onboarding. Why is my button not working? What silly, obvious thing am I overlooking here? I let my coffee get cold. That's Xcode's fault as well. My coffee got cold. Should be false to bring it back, right? It needs to be false because that's actually hide onboarding. But I had it false to begin with, and I thought actually I got it the wrong way around. Let's try it again. Only half watching now, dealing with an incredibly I'm sorry, is there a cat that's not fussy? I've never met a cat that's not fussy. All right, click it a few times. Okay, stop, reset. Oh, I swear I did that. Okay, sorry. All right. Okay, well, these look okay in dark mode once I make them look nice. You know what I don't like? It's just a silly thing, and I probably need to change the transitions. I don't like the way you see that, if you look in the middle there, where you see the sort of between the two screen pages. I'm going to fix that by putting a little gap between them, so at least it looks prettier. Okay, and the start button's there. Okay, good. It looks good in dark mode. That is what I wanted to check. Okay. Features, toggle appearance, boom, boom, boom. Okay. That's why it's incredibly fun. Yeah, got it. I remember, like, anytime I would sit down to record a podcast, my cat would suddenly decide, oh, yeah, we should talk about things. And I always felt like my cat was just giving commentary. Like, you know, I'd say something and it's almost like it's like, yeah, yeah, you know. All right. Awesome. I think for now, what are we? Just over 2 hours. But I think we got this feature. I'm just going to, I need to do some screen caps for the screens for each of the, put the graphic in the middle for each of the onboarding screens. But then I think that is that. It doesn't have multiple language support. That is for a future release, and we'll have some fun with that. I think we're going to leave it there for now. Truly, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for being part of the chat. What's this? Darwin's humans work on something important, cat. This is my time to shine. Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, wouldn't the cat really be, I'm sorry, why are you working on something other than pleasing me, right? I think that's the thing. Anyway, everybody, truly, thank you for your help, advice, suggestions, and support. Thank you for being part of the chat. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I just want to say that I really wasn't sure when I started doing this streaming how well a coding stream would go across, but it turns out to maybe be one of the best things I've done in a long time, other than the podcast. So thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. I hope you have a great weekend. Like I say, on Monday, when WWDC starts, I'm going to be recording some podcasts with Leo Dion from Bright Digit, the Empower Apps podcast. We will be putting those out together over the first couple of days of WWDC. It's going to be an exciting time for us all, I'm sure. I may even try and get some streams in. You really, Darkbringer, you really like the stream? Thank you. You know what? Just for you, buddy, I promise to make more errors in the future. I promise you that however much good coding there is, I'm going to offset that with bad coding. I'll try really hard. That's it, everyone. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. I have enjoyed this tremendously. I have enjoyed your company, and I hope we get to do it again very, very soon. And I always try to catch the other streams for everybody else out there. And if there's any streams you think I should be watching as well, please let me know. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, just for you, buddy. I mean, I could do it without the errors, but what would be the fun? I think I can hold to it, Coco type. I'm thinking I can mistype things if I try really hard, or like just be normal. Have a good one, everyone. I will see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Thank you so much.